I don't know who this is for, but I wanted to hop on real quick and remind you that in a time when we are inundated with messages about how men aren't important, we don't need men, we don't need marriage. Marriage is no longer a thing that should be your a priority. Marriage is not something that is needed any longer. If you are a person who believes in God, then you know that God loves marriage. God blesses marriage, the right marriage. God pours fertilizer on your life when you are in the right marriage. When you get into the book of Jeremiah, you can absolutely see how the Lord has ordained marriage. And marriage is so important that he would literally bring famine and stop the blessings to a land via marriage. So don't let social media and these people who are clearly not actually in their word and clearly not connected with higher power tell you that marriage isn't important. Marriage should not be a focus of yours. Let me clarify something here. I don't think you're a failure if you're not married. I don't think that at all. But what I do believe that if it's a desire in your heart to be married and that's something you've been looking to co-create, manifest, call into your life, that you are visioning for yourself, that you are praying about, then that is something that is a calling for you. It's something that you are supposed to have. And you are not wrong for desiring the covenant of marriage. And often what happens is you see bitter women who say this. You see women who were raised in families where there was no father, where there was no husband. You see people who end up choosing the wrong partner for themselves. And instead of taking personal responsibility for their choices, instead of saying that I did not seek God before I got into this union. Instead of saying I did not have myself together so I could choose the right partner, they would rather say, oh, I'm better by myself. Of course, you're better by yourself than with someone who God did not will into your life, which is why I'm not that big into SP, specific person. Of course, you're better by yourself than to be in a relationship that is not ordained by God. The solution is not to be by yourself. The solution is not to, oh, be like, oh, I don't need marriage anymore. Because then, and while you're maintaining how much you love God, your faith, that you're a Christian, that you're a Jew, you maintain that while saying marriage isn't important, which is contradictory because you know that within the word for God, marriage and the covenant of marriage is of the highest order. So if you desire that for yourself, this is when you have to shut out social media. You have to shut out those people who are not aligned with the vision on your life. You have to shut out people who are not aligned with what God has told you is for you. And you have to connect with people, things, read things, watch things, listen to things that align with what you have been told. And your desire for marriage, your desire for partnership, your desire for a covenant relationship does not mean you are male centered. Actually, you're God centered because that is what God has called for you to have. So if God has told you, God has shown you, and if God has put that desire in your heart, it is fine for you to be praying for a spouse, for you to be fasting for a spouse. It is fine for you to be doing those things, okay? And I felt like this message was for someone because I talked to so many people, specifically just the last couple days since we've had the Stillwell up, my free community, people who have sent me messages saying that that's one of the things that they want to call into their life, but they're like, what if marriage isn't for me? And like, marriage, I keep hearing marriage isn't important and I'm male centered. If I desire a spouse, and no, you're not. Okay. All right. I hope this is helpful for someone. If you want to join us over on the Stillwell, it is I'm calling it a literary community for women, but ultimately, what it is a place to deepen your faith, get closer to God so that you can have stronger faith, femininity, and finances. And we are doing it by really studying books and the Bible that's centered in the Lord. Okay. All right. Talk to you guys soon.